And I'm going to also start by muting everyone. So do unmute yourselves if you wish to ask a question. And I'm going to share my screen with you there. And I hope you can all see that. We're going to look this week at the topic of unblocking, maintaining entries by declarer. And I want to start with this hand here, which was a hand that was played when we were still doing face-to-face bridge. And nearly everyone played this in 4 spades. This was the recommended bidding on this one. 1 spade, West overcalls, and 4 spades by North. When this was played, no one made 10 tricks. No one made 4 spades here. So what I'd like you to do is have a look at this hand and see what your plan is. And I've actually got a question for you coming up on Zoom, which is how many top tricks do you think you have? So don't answer verbally, but there's a poll coming out and I'm going to ask you in it, how many top tricks does declarer have altogether? If you're playing on an iPad and the question obscures the screen, you can close the poll and then relaunch it to see it once you've got that. So just tell me how many top tricks does declarer have altogether here. Now, and I'm going to share the results with you, and you can see the top answer is 10, where 20 of you went for that, with smaller numbers going for 8, 9, and 1 person went for 12. So let's have a look at it and see what the right answer is. Well, if we just count my tricks, I've got 5 spade tricks, haven't I? 1 heart and 4 clubs. So I make that, going along with the majority of you, 10 tricks. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 top tricks here. And although normally in a suit contract it's useful to look at your losers, well, it is useful here as well, because you can see you've got 3 immediate diamond losers, and it looks like the opponents are going to take them right away. So you have 3 losers, but equally important is you have 10 winners. So the opponents start off with the ace of diamonds, and it looks like they're going to take 3 diamonds, so you can't do anything about that. They've taken 3 diamonds. And let's suppose they now switch to a heart. What are you going to play now, and how are you going to carry on with this hand? We'd like to suggest, not a poll, but what are you going to play from dummy? Are you going to play your ace here? Yeah, of course. You've lost 3 tricks, but you've got 10 tricks, so you've better take them. So let's take your ace. Don't risk playing low, because it wouldn't succeed on this occasion. And who'd like to suggest what you might play next? Just verbally, if you just tell me.
Spades.
Yeah, I'm going to draw trumps. Yeah. I've got a lot of trumps. I think I can afford to draw trumps before I try to cash my club tricks. So let's just play them. We've got 9 trumps. They'll probably divide 3-1 or 2-2. We draw 2 rounds, West discard, so there's still a trump out. So let's get rid of it. Okay. And now we're going to, the trumps are gone, we're going to turn our attention to clubs, of course. And what is maybe obvious once you see it is that you have what we're going to be talking about today. You have blocked honours in the north hand. You cannot take blocked honours in clubs, refers to a situation where you cannot just take 4 club tricks off the top. The suit is blocked. And I want you to really, try and, if there's one thing you get out of the lesson today, try and watch out today and in the future for situations where you have blocked honours, because it's nearly always a good idea to try and get rid of that blockage early on. So of course what we're going to do is play the queen and the jack. And I suspect that when some people played this, they made the mistake of overtaking. But that's a mistake here. That means if you overtake the queen with the ace or the king, now you're not guaranteed to make four club tricks. If I bring up the four hands, you may find that you're giving up a trick if you overtake. And there's no need to overtake. Just win that one with the queen, because you can still get back to the south hand. You've got a trump left, so by all means play it. And now you can cash your top two clubs. Okay, throwing away a heart, of course, and then you've got a trump at the end. So that one, should be relatively straightforward. But for whatever reason, no one made four spades on that one. Maybe what happened is, sometimes when the opponents start off cashing three tricks here, the declarer gets a sense of despair and doesn't maybe plan properly. I don't know. But it should be straightforward to make your 10 tricks on this one. Any comments or questions? Here's another one with some blocked honours. Here, let's just look at the bidding here. It went one spade, two hearts. Now, the two heart response to one spade is the only bid that should promise a 5-card suit. So two hearts promises not only something like 10 points, but it also promises a 5-card suit. So North can support you with only 3 hearts here. And North has actually, I think, got 16 points, so it's more than a minimum, and so they go to 4 hearts, and that's where you should end up on this hand. And we can see once again, this time in spades, we have a blocked honour. So when we come to play this, we're going to try and get rid of that blockage early on. I've got another question for you, though, on this one, and it's a similar one. I just want to ask you, how many top tricks do you expect to make here? So how many top tricks do you expect to make? That's the question that's coming up. I'm going to launch the polling now. And again, just answer how many top tricks you think you've got. And I will share the results with you. And this time, most of you have gone for 9 with 43%. 30% went for 10, 20% went for 11, and 7% went for 8. So let's have a look. Let's see what the right answer is. So the right answer here is actually, as to how many tricks you can make, does depend slightly on the distribution here. The distribution in spades and the distribution in hearts. Now, let's look at hearts to start with. We have 8 cards in hearts, and we have the ace, king, queen, jack. So we have 8 cards, the opponents have got 5, and those would normally be distributed 3-2 is the most likely, or even if they're distributed 4-1, we could still make all the heart tricks. Do you agree with that? So I think the most likely number of hearts that we expect to make is 5 tricks. We expect not to lose any hearts and to make all the trumps. We obviously don't have any tricks in diamonds, and we've got 1 trick in clubs, the ace. And the other suit that's interesting to look at is the spade suit. Now, in spades, again, we have the top 4 honours, ace, king, queen, jack. And how many tricks we expect to make, again, will depend on how they're divided. This time we've only got 6 cards, so the opponents have got 7 between them. If those are divided as expected, 4-2, then we could make all the spades. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I said 4. Yeah, sorry. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6. If they were divided 4-3, I meant to say, then we could make all 5 tricks. But if they were not divided evenly, if they were divided, say, 5-2, then we've only got 4 tricks to make. So we've got how many tricks we expect to make depends on how the spades are divided in particular, but it should be 4 or 5. The only problem on this hand is the opponents have led a diamond, and so if we count our losers, we can see we can't. We expect that the opponents are going to take 3 rounds of diamonds, and if they do, of course, we can't make more than 10 tricks. So we might have 10 or 11 top tricks, but in practice, we're expecting not to be able to make more than 10 here because the opponents have led a diamond. Okay? Any questions on that? So,
Tony,
yeah.
I think there's a little bit of confusion for me in when you said top tricks, because as far as I'm concerned, if the split isn't the way you expect, you are not going to take all those hearts. So that was why I didn't
Okay.
say 10.
So, okay. So I suppose it depends what you mean by expect or hope for. Um, I mean, in the heart suit, if they divide 3-2 or 4-1, you're okay. It's only a 5-0 split that would allow them to make a trump, and you'd only make 4. So,
A BBO split, in other words.
so you have to say, obviously you have to talk about what you mean by expect, but I think about maybe the most likely, or including perhaps the second most likely division, is what I expect. But yes, there are some horrible distributions on BBO. You'll have to tell me whether you think the real British distributions are just as bad or not. But depending on how you count it, you hope you'll make all the heart tricks, or you expect most of the time you'll make all the heart tricks. And although it's not absolutely certain, you hope you'll make 5 there. You hope you'll make 4 spades and 1 club. And if you can do that, you will come to 10 tricks. Now, again, the opponents have started off in diamonds here, and it looks like they may well take 3 rounds. Let's see what happens. So the opponents start with a king. This time East overtakes, and that to me probably suggests that East may well have started with a doubleton there, and they're very wisely playing their ace so that they don't block the suit. So they lead back a diamond, they take their jack and their queen, and there they are, they've taken the first 3 tricks. Then they switch to a club, and this is similar to the other one here because you've lost the first 3 tricks. You should be able to make the remaining tricks if you can make 5 hearts and 4 spades. So you don't want to risk the finesse here. You want to go up with the ace here. Okay, and we're going to now think about drawing trumps here. This hand is a little bit awkward because we have to get, what we want to do is ideally to draw trumps, and we also want to cash those spades. And it's a good idea anytime you have some situation like that ace of spades to get rid of it early on. Get rid of that blocked honor early. Okay, that was an extreme example of a blocked honor, the singleton ace. But you get rid of that early, so now you can hopefully cross to dummy and cash some spades. Now, you're limited as to your entries to dummy. In fact, you only have one, and it's the ace of hearts. But if the trumps divide evenly, you should be okay. So what you do is you start taking the king and then the queen, and if everyone follows, now there's just one trump out, and you can draw it with the ace, Okay, and now you'll be able to cash your spades. If you had a much worse distribution in trump, then this may not work as well. And what you would find is you might not be able to draw all the trumps, but you've only really got one way to get to dummy to cash those spades. So you would try and cash as many spades as possible. But here you're able to draw trumps, and now you can cash the remaining spades. And of course you'll discard your clubs here, and at the end you'll just make your last two trump tricks. So with normal distribution, you should be able to make 10 tricks there. And again, the key there is unblocking your ace of spades early on, noticing that that's a blocked honor and getting rid of it at an early stage. Any questions on that? Let's have a look at another one here. And here you open 2 no trump. Your partner bids 3 clubs, that's Stayman. You respond 3 spades, and they bid 3 no trump. They were looking for a heart pit, which they didn't have. And the opponents lead a diamond, the queen of diamonds. And let's stop to make a plan. And let's start off, I don't have a poll on this, but have a count of how many top tricks you should be able to make on this. Just count your top tricks to start with and tell me what it comes to.
Nine.
It's 9, I think, isn't it? We've got 1 spade. We're planning to make 4 heart tricks, although we'll come back to that. We've got 2 diamonds and 2 clubs, okay, off the top. So our contract looks pretty secure. We've got 9 top tricks, but obviously we're hoping to make more. We always get a better score the more tricks you can make. And I think we have a good chance to make more in clubs. We've only counted 2 club tricks, but if we could set up the club tricks, then we could hopefully just lose 1 club and make 4 club tricks altogether. So that's what we're going to plan to do on this hand, set up the clubs. We also have to watch out for the heart suit, because we have, again, blocked honors in hearts. And we'll need to play that suit early on, so in order for us to make 4 heart tricks. So let's suppose we win the first one with the ace. And there are different ways you could play this. You could unblock the hearts right away, or you could delay it slightly, as long as you do it before you get to dummy. So if you turn your attention instead to clubs, you might realize that you've got to lose a club here, barring a miraculous distribution. And the key thing here is to notice that you don't have any entries to the north hand. Unless you give up a trick, for example, by overtaking your queen with your king of hearts, you have no entries there. So let's instead try to make the clubs. And given that you expect to lose a club, it's a good idea to lose a club early on. So let's deliberately lose that club. Let's suppose they come back with a diamond. They knock out your only entry. And now let's suppose we turn our attention to clubs again. We're going to win in the shorthand with the king. And if everyone follows, now's a good time to reassess. So we've drawn 2 rounds of clubs. Everyone has followed. So that's 8 gone, and there are 3 in dummy, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 in your hand. So the clubs are established. It's a good idea to double check that. And now all your clubs are good. The only thing you're going to have to do before you play the clubs is to unblock your honors. So while we still can, let's unblock the ace. Let's play the queen. There's no need to overtake it. It's a risk of 1 fewer trick if we do, because we have a definite entry still to dummy with the ace of clubs. And now we're there, we can cash our remaining clubs, our remaining 2 heart tricks, and we'll make a spade at the end. We'll lose this last trick, I expect, but we should be able to make 11 tricks on that one. So again, that was another example of a blocked honor situation, and the key is recognizing it and realize you need to unblock your honors early on. Any comments on that one? Here's another one that again contains a blocked honor. Here you opened one diamond. Now you've got 19 points in the south hand, and the hand isn't quite balanced really. You've got that singleton ace. But if you go one diamond and north bids one spade, I think 3 no trump is a reasonable bid here. The one spade bid, of course, promises at least 6 points. And although you've only got a singleton there, your partner has bid that suit, so you should be okay in that suit. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. Suppose the opponents lead the Queen of Hearts. And again, we're going to stop to make a plan here. And, well, if we can cash the spades, we hope to make 4 spades, don't we? We'll come back to that in a minute. We've got 4 spades there. We've got 2 top tricks in hearts, no top tricks in diamonds, although we may make a diamond. And in clubs, we've got 1 top trick. Okay, so we start off, if we can make the spades, with 7 top tricks. And where else can we make some tricks here? We might make a diamond, but I think we should be able to make more tricks in clubs. We've just counted the ace, but we've got the jack 10 and the queen, so I think we should be able to make 2 tricks there as well. So we hope to make 7 top tricks and at least 3 clubs there. Now the problem on this hand, of course, though, is the spades, that with that blocked honor in the south hand, the ace of spades, it may be hard to get to dummy. Let's see what happens. Let's suppose we win this first trick with the ace, and let's first of all get rid of that blocked honor, play the ace. Now we'd really love to get to dummy. Can you get to dummy on this hand?
Yeah, well, by playing the clubs.
Yeah,
only with the clubs. 10, the winner.
Yeah, we don't have an immediate clear entry to dummy, but what we do have is the jack and 10 of clubs. So rather than trying, to try and finesse or anything in clubs, what we're going to do is lead low towards dummy in clubs, and that should guarantee us an entry. We'll force an entry to dummy because they can only win the king once, and that leaves us with another entry. So because you've got the jack and the 10, you can get an entry to dummy. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lead a low club, and we're going to play the jack or the 10. That may win or it may lose, but either way, it gives us another entry. If we play the 10 and it wins, now we've done it. Now we've got our entry. We unblocked the spades earlier, so now we can cash our 3 spades. Okay. Thank goodness. Okay. Now what? Well, we still want to make at least 1 more trick in clubs. So let's lead a club, and they win the king. But whatever they play now, let's just bring up 4 hands. Whatever they play now, we'll get back in, and we should be able to make 2 clubs. I mean, we're fairly weak in diamonds, but it's not clear that they'll necessarily attack diamonds. They may play a heart. We'll get in, and we can take our last 2 clubs, which will be our 9 tricks. After that, I don't think we're going to make any more. The opponents will get in and can cash hearts and hold us to 9 tricks. But that was an example, a sort of extreme example of unblocking, getting rid of that ace early on. And if you like, I like to think of it as a sort of special case of winning in the shorthand. But it's a similar idea that you unblock in situations where you've got spot these blocked honors and try and get rid of them early on.
If each had won with the king of diamonds, they still had a master spade.
Okay. let's see. Where have we got to?
So when West leads a diamond towards East,
Yeah.
East could win with a king.
Yeah. So at this point here, you mean? No?
At some stage, West could have led a diamond to East.
Okay, when he got in with the king of clubs, I think.
And then getting in with the king of diamonds, they can then play the master king, six of spades.
Yeah. Well, I think, let me see, how many tricks have they made here? So they've made just one trick there. I mean, as it turns out, they can only make 2 diamonds and a spade. So you're still going to be all right. I mean, you're vulnerable in diamonds, but I think you'd still be okay. But nonetheless, that was really your only chance. I think your observation is that by you playing spades, you set up a spade for them, and that's true. But I don't think there was any other chance to make it. I just want to look at one other hand. This was played online in December last year, and if we have a look at this one, we can see this was my recommended bidding on it: 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 3 spades, 4 spades. Although the computer says that 6 spades can be made here. If we look at the traveller on this, you can see that a couple of people did bid 6 spades. One person bid and made it, and they got the top score. One bid it and didn't make it, they went down. Most other people ended up in 4 spades. And whether 4 spades is a good contract really depends on how many tricks you make. Because if you just make your contract 4 spades making, you'd only get 9 points out of a possible 26. But if you manage to make 2 over tricks, you'd get a very good score of 22 out of a possible 26. So this is interesting in that it's often the case here that even if you don't bid a slam, even if someone has made a slam, if you can make 12 tricks when very few other people are, you'll almost certainly get a good score, on a hand like this. And the advantage of bidding the slam is not that great. It's 26 compared with 22. So some people say, don't bid a sort of risky slam, because of course if you bid it and go down, then you're risking a very poor score, as happened to this declarer here. Okay, so there's a saying in bridge, it's sort of adapted from Shakespeare: the play's the thing. And very often the play is really important, especially in this form of scoring, to make the over tricks. So I thought I'd have a look at how this was played a couple of times, and to see what went wrong or what went right. So this was the bidding on one of the hands, one of the times it was played. 1 spade, 3 spades. I don't necessarily agree with raising spades unless North-South were playing 5-card majors, then that's reasonable. North here bid 4 no trump, was quite excited by that bid. Found out that his partners got 5 diamonds, which is 1 ace, and they ended up in 6 spades. That's a reasonable bid actually by North, because you have very good distribution. In fact, if you count your losers in the North hand, you've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 losers. So it's a very good hand, much more than a minimum opener would be of 7 losers. So if you take your partner to have maybe 6 losers, maybe that's a reasonable spot to be in. Anyway, let's see how it went this time, and we'll look at it from the point of view of North, and I'll just look at how it was played here. So let's try and look at it from the work out how many losers we've got. Do you have any spade losers here?
No.
I don't think so. In hearts, we have 1 loser, the 4. And in diamonds, it's a little hard to tell. We've got at least one loser. What we hope to do is to only lose one trick there. And in clubs, we don't have any losers. What we have on this hand is we have a blocked honor in clubs. We have the ace of clubs here and the king here. And hopefully, if you're playing a hand like this now, you would see the need to get rid of that blockage. But let's see what happened here. Declarer won the first trick, played a second round of spades, and now played a third round of spades. Okay, so they're drawing trumps here. And they then played diamonds. And when you're playing diamonds in a situation like this, they're playing very well. What they're doing is leading towards their honors. And that gives you the best chance of only losing one trick. What you're hoping is that West will pop up with the ace or the jack maybe, and that will help you avoid more than one loser. So that's what they did here. West played the ace, which is nice, but although things are now quite good in diamonds, what Declarer hasn't done is they haven't unblocked the clubs. And if you look at this hand now, you can see that Declarer will never get to cash the king of clubs here. So what will happen, suppose they shift to a heart, you play the diamonds and the jack falls, which is great, but when you play, you can cash your winners now, all the trumps are gone, but you'll never get to take that king of clubs. You've lost your entry. So you can play your ace, play your trumps, but in the end, you're left with a losing heart. And you'll only make it, they only made 11 tricks on that one. Okay, let's have a look at it played another time. There's 2 more times to go. This time they just bid 1 spade, 2 spades, 4 spades. Again, I don't particularly agree with that bidding, but let's see what happened. They led a heart again, and let's see if Declarer can do any better on this one. Well, this time they're starting off doing much better by unblocking that ace of clubs, unblocking their honors. Then they started drawing trumps, and even better, they now cashed the king of clubs, and of course they can throw away the 4 of hearts on there. Okay, so now they're in good shape at this point. Unfortunately, what they did next, and I'll just click on the GIV button, is they you can see that you can make 12 tricks now and get a good score, but not if you lead a club, and that's what they did. They led a club planning to rough in their hand, but they're roughing in the long hand here, and that really is not what they want to be doing. They should probably use the fact that they're in dummy to lead diamonds at this stage, to lead towards their honors. In fact, what they did was they roughed, then they made another mistake, which is to lead their honors. If you lead the king here, it's now very likely you're going to lose 2 diamonds. So they lost to that one. A heart comes back. They were able to rough that, and they cashed the jack of spades. There's still a trump out. They played the queen here. They got that. And now they roughed a diamond, which is good. It's another way of establishing the suit. But the problem is that they are now stuck in dummy, and there's still a trump out. And they have no way to get back to their hand and draw the last trump. So here they roughed, but now they've lost control of the trump suit. So East gets in with the last trump and cashes the king, and they only made 10 tricks. Okay. Finally, let's look at how it was played more successfully. Here, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, and sorry, I'll just bring up 4 hands again, and 2 spades. I think 3 spades is a better bid there. 3 spades is more encouraging. You've shown up something like 10 points with your 2 clubs, but if you now bid only 2 spades, you're sort of suggesting, well, of the suits you have, I have a minor preference for spades over diamonds, and it's not that encouraging. Maybe it's showing something like 9 points or something that you were, where you bid 2 clubs. I prefer 3 spades there. Nonetheless, North went on to bid a slam there. They bid 4 no trump, and I think the 5 heart response is what's called Roman key card Blackwood, which some of you are familiar with. They showed 2 key cards, the ace and king of spades, and they ended up in 6 spades. And let's see how this one went, the last one. They led a heart again. Declarer here started off thinking about drawing trumps and then realized that they want to unblock those clubs. So they did very well to unblock the clubs here. They crossed 2 dummy. There are different ways you could play this, but this declarer now cashed the king of clubs, threw away the heart, and then drew the last trump. And now you're in dummy, and you're going to try and lead towards your honours. They played a diamond. The ace popped up, which is helpful for you. They played a diamond back, but you were able to take the king and the queen. The jack falls there, and so you can make all the remaining diamonds and the last 2 spades. So that was an example of it being played well. The keys on this hand were to unblock in clubs and to lead towards your honours in diamonds. Those are what you really need to do to make 12 tricks now. Any comments or questions on that? So that's what I want you to, especially try and look out for. Look out for those blocked honours. Try and get rid of them. They're an awful nuisance. And if you spot them and get rid of them, then the hand's often much easier to play. That's it for today. Mike, Lee was looking for a partner. Is there anyone else looking for a partner?
Yes, I am, Tony.
Jill.
John's not playing today, so.
So, Jill, would you like to join us and play on Real Bridge with Mike Lee?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Love to.
Is that okay with you, Mike? You better say yes.
He's still muted, yeah.
He's muted.
Still muted. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll see you all online.
Okay.
See you in a little while. All right, I'll end the call there. Thank you all very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.